need to withdraw the Income Tax Bill 2025.
Why has the government withdrawn the income tax bill? Are there any changes that will be introduced by them? And what are the key important things that you should be aware about? India's income tax law hasn't seen a complete overhaul in last 60 years until now. The original income tax bill of 2025 has been withdrawn by the government and a revised version will be tabled on coming August 11. But this time it is not about new tax rate. It is about clarity, it is about simplification and making it easy not just for the public but for the government as well. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to understand that why this revision was important and what is going to be tabled at this present time. So when we talk about Income Tax Bill 2025, this was brought in February 2025, and this original bill, after the select committee's recommendation as well as stakeholder feedback, this has been withdrawn and a revised version will be tabled on August 11, 2025. Now, if we talk about the income tax bill, the revised income tax bill 2025, this is basically replacing the original bill of income tax that was coming from Income Tax Act 1961. That is almost more than 60 years old as of now. So when we look at this timeline, this time the introduction has been for very specific reason, not because of change in the tax rates, but for the simplification of it. Now let us understand that why are we talking about this complete overhaul that is present in front of us. So the first and primary reason that comes in front of us is the fact the Act of 1961 has been amended over 65 times. It has 4,000 amendments, which makes it very complex and contradictory in many places because of these amendments. Furthermore, it has almost 1200 provisos, 900 explanation, which make it very complex for a common man to understand. That is why taxpayers find it very difficult to interpret, as well as they need help even to file some basic returns. Now, when we are talking about compliance burden, that has been extremely high. The reason behind it is the frequent changes that we have seen, and that again requires professional help for even basic returns filing. And because of the ambiguities of the provision that I was talking about, the contradiction that exists, we also have seen high number of disputes that have arisen. Furthermore, this leads to lot of litigation, which creates a burden on the government as well as the public. Now, these were the core reasons which have been presided on which the overhaul that we are talking about is taking place. Now, let us try to understand what are the main components which make this very new bill necessary. The Income Tax Bill of 2025. So, the government has now and then went ahead and clarified that this tax bill is not about the changing categories for taxpayers, rather it is about simplifying the language, removing the redundant provisos and also focusing on making it easier for the public as well as the government. So, on that very same line, this bill aims to simplify language and structure. That means it will remove all the redundant, unnecessary explanation. It will use clear terms, tables so that public is able to understand, and there is limited professional help which is required even for basic returns. It will also improve the readability not just for taxpayers, it will also facilitate the tax officers. Furthermore, it is going to streamline all the provisions. Any similar provisions, they are going to be merged and they will give easy references. There will be a proper logical arrangement of all the sections so that the readability as well as the understanding becomes easy. Furthermore, there is also focus on reduced litigation. How that can be done? So, the contradictory parts would be removed. There will be clear definitions and all the obsolete clauses will be removed. Furthermore, there is a focus on the shifting that the trust factor with the public would be primarized and scrutiny or litigation would be later. So the new approach is trusting first and scrutinizing later. Furthermore, it is also going to focus on modernizing administration. That means there will be better powers given to CBDT so as to issue rules. Central Board of Direct Taxes, they will have better powers to issue rules, and there will be also encouragement where we are talking about e-assessment, AI-based scrutiny and faceless compliance tools. So there is also a component of digitalization which is going to be addressed and which was not present in the bill of 1961. Now this was about that why this new bill after so many years is necessary, but what are the revised additions that are being added and that will be tabled on August 11. What are the components that have been brought in after stakeholders giving their revisions, their feedback? Furthermore, the select committee has also come up with recommendations. So based on that, the additions that we are going to understand, the first one is about how original draft said that they could tax house property. So here this alignment has been removed. This has been removed to align with the existing law. Then we see the tax returns in terms of refunds on late filing that has been facilitated. There was harsh provision which denied refunds which could be withdrawn later. But for small taxpayer which have genuine reason for the delay in the filing, they have received this relief in the revised provision that they can file the returns and they will get the tax refund even after late filing if they have genuine reasons behind that. Furthermore, we have section 80M deduction which has been restored. For example, when we are talking about for intercorporate dividends, this basically avoids double taxation for all the holding companies. There also has been provision for nil TDS certificates. Now that means that taxpayers with no tax liability, they will also be able to get the nil TDS certificates according to which they can file for their tax returns. Then we have commuted pension addition. So basically in here, the tax exemption which was extended to non-employees has been seen. Previously, it was just for salaried people. So this has been brought in the revised version. Then we have house property standard deduction. Explicitly 30% once the municipal taxes have been deducted, it has been made 30%. And drafting corrections provision has also been put in. For example, alignment of phrases, any cross-referencing or removal of ambiguities has also been assured in the revised bill that is going to come in front of us. Now the main question, that is like, what is the impact? Impact we have to again understand from two dimensions. First, on the taxpayer. So when we talk about the taxpayers, we are going to find that there will be ease of compliance. When we are talking about simplification of language, it will directly reduce the need for experts, consultants in routine cases, in routine exercises. Furthermore, it will bring certainty and clarity for the taxpayers. Clear rules will lead to fewer disputes and fewer problems at the end of taxpayers, and this is also a trust building exercise with the public because we are focusing on the trust first and scrutinizing later model that is going to facilitate that refunds will be even given for late returns. That means citizens have the option to voluntarily comply with the rules even if they are late, and they will be facilitated in the system. Now let us talk about the impacts that we are going to see for the government as well as the economy. The first impact will be the reduced litigation. When the complexity was high, litigation was high, number of cases were high. This will lead to reduced litigation, and this will save not only time but legal cost which used to arise for the tax department itself. Then we are also going to see wider tax base hopefully, because this changes will make it transparent, user friendly, and it will attract more voluntary filers. Furthermore, modern tax ecosystem has been brought in, whereas I just emphasized that digitalization is also another focus. So CBDT is going to use digital tools. It has already simplified law, and it will going to generate efficiency as well as revenue stability. The rest of the understanding will come in better when the government will table it and there will be a discussion about it. But what do you think that such changes are going to change the scenario of India, where even after having such a large population, the taxpayers number is limited, especially in terms of direct and income tax? Let me know in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.